you know, we there wasn't really nothing cracking at Old Folsom. The Paisas, they moved on the NLR. Believe it or not, that was a trip. They had
Yeah.
like two Paisas on one garbage can. You know what I mean? One holding this side, one holding that side, cracking dudes. They was going at it, but yeah, Old Folsom, it was just one-on-one stuff with me.
So it's because it's a level two, right?
Yeah, it did go to a level three later on where we had gunners and all the towers and everything, but it was yeah, there wasn't, man, I can't even think of like,
Well, that incident that kicked off between the Norteños and the Sureños over there, you said you were there. The one where I think it was a LT committed suicide over, or they say that's why he committed suicide.
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Captain Piper, yep.
There you go, Captain
But
Piper.
Max Lemon, who was the associate warden, was the one stomping a dude out.
I seen that. I
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
that.
And he was crying like a baby too, man.
Mm-hmm.
But that whole thing was weird, like because I don't know, this dude he's notorious, freaking Terry White Lightning. He was a CO. That he was a fool, man. But if anybody was at Folsom, they know this cat, like
Yeah.
professional boxer for a minute and stuff. But so the yard is shut down, and all the Norteños, they would go to the mini yards. So they wouldn't go to the main yard. So
Why
they
is
would,
that?
because they're on lockdown.
Oh,
It was
okay.
they're on lockdown for whatever reason. And so this particular day, they were bringing the inmates from one building, they were walking them across the yard, and instead of going to 5-building mini yard, they told them to stop, that they're going to main yard. And they're like, what? Like, I'm sure, and this is what I heard. I really didn't talk to
Set up.
anybody, but like, bro, like it wasn't even mandatory yard, I don't think, for the Norteños, and so there wasn't even that many of them, bro. There was probably, I don't know, 30 or something, and maybe more. And so from what I heard, they didn't know that they're going to yard, main yard. And so they run yard, but they got Terry White. He's like escorting it. Well, he's in the front and everybody's following him. Everybody's out to the yard, but they're all locked down. They got them all pushed into Blood Alley.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they let the yard go, they're all walking, they're going to go back to the yard, but all the Serranos go straight to their area was right next to the northern area too. So, are they just going over there or are they going to fight? Whatever, right? But stupid ass Terry White, he's escorting them fools. He's the first one in front, man. And sure enough, they got right to their handball court and it just cracked, man. It was.
I seen the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, the video's on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you, man. They show they walk you through it too. So they obviously knew something was gonna kick off because they seen them rounding that corner right there where the handball court was. And that other CO, the other one that was involved, he was like, hey, you don't want me to set, I think it was Piper.
Yeah.
He was like, you don't want me to put the yard down? And he was like, nah, not yet, man. And right after that, it kicked off, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And then, but homie, then I worked AdSeg, bro, and like it was just red on red, like they were just taking each other out, and bro, like we would pat yous down, of course, do the whole mouth and everything, and then they'd strip each other out too. I'm like, what?
Wow, that's the first time I heard that one,
bro. I'm like, you're doing better than me.
Norteños were stripping Norteños out.
Yes, I'm like, they didn't trust each other. That they were just
wow.
Yeah, they was going at it. And,
what year was it?
Shit, that would have to been like, damn, like 2003, 2004.
Okay, I can understand that. Yeah, it got real bad by then.
Yeah, and I remember they took this dude I knew, villain. I guess he's no good. I don't know, but they took him off.
From Sacramento.
Yeah,
I know.
V. Yep. Yeah. So I was there, when they took him out. It was just a fist fight. He did good. It was like 3-on-1, 4-on-1, and he's getting
Yeah,
his money. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But yeah, bro, like I had gotten in a dude threw his TV at me. It exploded one time. Me and my gunners were running around like Keystone Cops, and me and this dude slinging them. I'm like, psh, how you throw your TV at me? You know what I mean? But I gotten stuff like that. But Mule Creek, that
Yeah,
was
let's
a
talk about Mill Creek, man. Talk about some of the incidents that you experienced over there, man. I know there was a lot of drama.
bro. Well, and what's funny is B Yard. It's more dangerous going to a mall down here. You know what I mean? And my first day, I work in B Yard, and I'm like kicking everybody, like, get up! You can't be laying on the yard. You know what I mean? Get up!
Sunbathing.
Sunbathing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sergeant, he's like, no, they can. I was like, what? So I got to get out of here. And I remember I was sitting there, and this dude comes in. I go, who are you, motherfucking Jose Feliciano? And he's like, no, but I sang with him. It was Ricky Stevens from Tower
Tower
Power.
Power, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, shit. They used to have concerts on the yard and stuff. And then you got C Yard, where, I don't know, Larry Leva, you know him? I don't know if he was somebody big or whatever, but I
Larry
heard
Leva. Where was he from?
from Sacramento.
Nah, I don't.
Yeah. I guess he
That's
did.
man.
He probably, I heard he started some New Flowers, or I don't know what it was, but he was there. And there was, there was a couple little mini rides, 7-on-7 there on the yard, but AdSeg was there as well. So I worked AdSeg, but then you got a yard, bro. I was like, what? Why does everybody got that scar in their face? Like I wasn't hip to it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Hmm.
what am I on Mars? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And so I was like, that's a puto mark for butter. I
Yeah.
was like, whoa,
That's
are
what
you?
it is too, man.
Woo, Lord, bro. I was like, dang. But bro, AdSeg, them dudes were so crazy, man. They were so crazy. But there was these two cats named Trooper. He was an NLR, and this dude Garcia was an Indian cat. I don't know, he was affiliated, but these two, bro, we used to be able to park in the back of AdSeg. If you worked AdSeg,
Hmm.
I'm coming to work one day, and Trooper is waving at me. He broke through the back window, and he's like, Torres. I was like, what the fuck? These motherfuckers are crazy. He kicked out the back window
And he
of
was
his,
outside.
huh?
Oh, he was waving through the window.
Yeah, outside. His hand was outside the window. There's those thin
Yeah,
windows.
yeah.
He could only barely fit his arm out.
Right,
But he
right.
faked at me. I'm like, these motherfuckers. But those two, there was this dude named they called him Okie. And he was one of them tree jumpers from Oklahoma that he had like 70 or something. Long story short, I guess he had disrespected Trooper, bro. They caught him on the yard and they tried to cut that fool in half, bro. Literally. He was a big dude, and they broke both their knives, but they were trying to shoot him with the Mini 14 and everything, but they cut that fool straight in half, bro. All his stuff was out. And
Killed him?
no, he was
No.
at UC Davis trying to get at the nurses, man. They sent his butt right back to us.
So
And
so so his intestines and all his shit was hanging out.
man, and all his blubber and everything, you could see everything, bro. They cut him.
Oh,
Yeah, they cut him like that. And
damn.
that fool comes back all bandaged up. And he's like, Torres, give me we're in AdSeg. And he's like, give me extra lunches. I'm like, shut up. You didn't get nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I got these. And he had razor blades. And I'm like, this fool. I was like, I just started spraying him and shit, with all his cuts and shit. We went in there and got him. But he was a fool. But
Yeah.
he didn't learn. But yeah, those two dudes, Trooper and Garcia, I had saved Garcia had a freaking he was a diabetic and he had an episode. So I pulled him out, carried him to the thing, and he never forgot that. You know what I mean? So, they wouldn't do nothing to me, but they would do something to anybody else, man. Them dudes were scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, we man, these two Southerners, we did a cell. We had to do 3 cell extractions back to back to back. I don't know what they were mad at. I can't remember, but um, This was the craziest cell extraction, bro. Like, I look in there and they're like, come on, Torres. You know what I mean? They got knives. I'm like, fuck. And it's all spied away. You know, they got the TV ready to fall on me, soap on all that stuff, right? I was like, I thought we were cool. You know what I mean? Why you want to do that to me? You know? And, but bro, we literally ran out of spray. We threw so much spray. We even got the 40 and shot them. I ain't never seen this before.
The
We
super
shot
soaker.
them through the freaking door.
Yeah,
with
the
move
super
door,
soaker.
The direct impact round.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen that shit before. But we shot them fools. They were under their bunk and they made little gas masks or whatever, but they were some hard motherfuckers, man. We went in there and handled our business or whatever. But those dudes were crazy, man. I remember we run to an alarm. This fool taped both knives. And that's the first time I ever seen this type of shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, like, you really? Where'd you get that tape from? First of all, like, what the hell? I'll get all that tape. And he taped both his knives so he wouldn't drop them. And he was getting this.
What kind of trip was he on? He just was going off.
It could have been anything.
Yeah.
You know, but them, like, you couldn't tell. It was just so commingled, blacks, whites, northerners, southerners. I'm like, ooh, I couldn't keep track. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm cool. Let me get the hell out of here.
So,
I went back.
You went where? Oh, back to Adse.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so that was the level 4 yard?
Yes.
Was that the S and Y?
Yeah. Yeah, the whole place is that.
I know Mule Creek has been like that for forever, man. No.
Yeah.
But so over there you really didn't see too many riots because everybody's kind of doing their own thing unless you got those you know, the Northern Rioters or the West of the Floor or those kind of prison gangs, right? Did you see any of that stuff over there?
You know what, bro? Like, and that's the other thing. Like, I wish I'd have paid attention more, but I didn't give a fuck about nobody, nothing. My program, that's all I cared about. I wasn't involved, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter to me who you were, what your program was. I wish I would have. To this day, I'm still confused. Who the freak are 2-5ers? Someone told me they're a northern gang now. Someone said it's a southern gang. Like,
yeah, they're more Sureño based.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a green lighter. I don't know what I don't know. This dude was a fool though. Like, yeah, they were always trying to get us. You know what I mean? But I ain't never let them get me. You know what I mean? Never. I was lucky, man. But I was always cautious, you know what I mean? I ran a strict program, you know what I mean? I never slept, bro. I don't care what time it was, first watch. That wasn't me, bro. I'm posted, ready, you know what I mean? Like, I never, and I think that's why they respected me because they knew that, you know, I'm doing my job. That's it. You know what I mean? Right. I never wrote 115, bro. And I got 16 years, but then I bought 4 years of my Marine Corps time. So I got 20 years. But in that time, bro, not 115. Yeah, I got lockup orders and incident report 837s and all that, but I never wrote somebody up for out of bounds or motherfucking smoke. Never. Not even once.
So the lockup orders, what kind of shit was happening with those?
So this one particular, this is a funny story, man, because I was the EOP escort officer in ASU, but part of that was being the yard gunner. So I'm the yard gunner for a certain time or whatever. So they were working on the water gun, so the tower is broken. We had to be on the ground, right on the ground. And so, of course, you know, like we had to put the inmates, and it was just two. We had some in the walk-alone yards, and then on the main yard, you know, you could fit however many or whatever, right, on the ADSEG yard, not the walk-alone. So I put these two dudes. One was Reno and Hampton. Reno was a black dude, and Hampton was an Indian cat. And he's like, "Hey, bro, me and Reno's gonna get him up." You know what I mean? And I was like, "Okay, let me go get the guns real quick. You know, by the time I come back, you know what I mean?" He's like, "All right." So I go, and sure enough, boom, boom, boom. They're getting busy, right? I'm coming back. I got my Mini 14 and then direct impact round. And I'm just standing there, you know, no one else out there, you know. And I'm like, "Reno, man, get your dukes up, man. Like, do something, man. I got this Indian dude putting sets on him." Boom, boom. Homie, he was stabbing him in his face, and I didn't even know, man. I felt like I started bug. It's an L8, so I got like 6 rounds. I was like, get out, get out, get out. Shooting that fool. I said, man, why are you stabbing that fool? Like, he was poking him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a thick piece of metal. He didn't sharpen it down enough. It was just like getting hit with a flat piece of metal, really. But it was poking him.
Yeah.
And so we're dealing with that. I pull him off the yard, right? And we deal with it. And I'm sitting at the bench inside. I mean, at the table inside of the building, and I'm writing my report. Well, there's this big ass Mexican cat, Lopez, right? I'm big. I'm 6 foot 240, whatever. He's like 6'2", 260, J-Cat. And so quick, like I knocked him out in 13 building because he was just running his mouth, calling me big ear, gold tooth, fucking, clowning me.
Yeah.
And so I go tell my sergeant, right? And my sergeant was my homie. That's why I was at Mule Creek. He's my boy, rest in peace. He passed away, Gentili, right? And so I say, bro, man, this dude's talking too much shit. He won't even let me sit down. You know what I mean? He's like, you're not at Folsom. Calm down. I'm like, all right, bro, whatever. So he comes out and Lopez starts on him, like, you big fat. But he started clowning. He's like, man, we got to get him. I said, yeah, all of a sudden, And so I go in his office and he's fucking cutting a tray in half, bro. He's all sweaty. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Hard ass tray.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn. So he said, we're going to go whatever. So we go over there and Lopez like, what are you doing with that? And my boy says, what are you doing with it? And he threw it in there and I ran in there like I was trying to save him. He broke his tray, whatever. We ended up getting down. Just him and I, my homie stayed out. Anyway, I ended up winning that one. So back to I'm inside. I'm writing my report on the stabbing. And we call the gunner fucking Blue Falcon, a buddy fucker. But our code word was Blue Falcon. And funny to have him, our gunner, right? And so Lopez is running his mouth. And my back is to him. And I'm like, I go, man, pop 126. I'm sitting down. Like, you can't pop 126. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The gunner pops 126, bro. Man, Lopez, he was just punching the hell out of his mattress. He's all sweaty, just in his boxers. And he steps out his cell. And he's kind of like, you don't know what's going on. And all the inmates are like, Torres, watch out, watch out. I was like, oh, shit. I didn't even know I could do this. I went straight fucking by the books. I pulled out my baton, which I ain't never pulled out my baton ever. You know what I mean? But I pulled that sucker out and I just went, I just started yelling and shit, and I was pushing him and he was just backing up and shit. And I pushed him to the cell and shut the door. And I was like, you bitch. Everybody's clowning him and shit. But I was like, man, thank God, man. I didn't have to tussle this fool on the floor. But yeah, that and when you work in AdSeg, you gotta respect for the inmates and they respect you. You know what I mean? And,
Right.
and bro, when I'm gonna be honest, man, like whoever didn't go to yard, like when I first got there, like bro, they were throwing shit. It was one of those kind of AdSegs, screaming, banging. Like at Old Folsom, we had a 3-knock rule. You knock 3 times, we're coming. You know what I mean? You can't be knocked. And so I try to implement that here at Mule Creek. And then, damn, I lost my train of thought. Fucking,
Was it about?
yeah. So, bro, I was going into these dudes' cells, man, and I put the handcuffs on the bunk. I'd be like, look, bro, you need to calm down. I go, you're gonna get everything you got coming, what you need. You know what I mean? Like, you need any supplies, you need anything, you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Don't trip, but you gotta calm down with this shit in there. Like, some dudes went to suicide watch, bro. The next, like, they just couldn't deal with that. Me walking in the cell like that. And so I do it to the next cats, and it was a paisa. Man, that fool pulled out 2 razor blades from I don't know where they came from. He was like, Torres, you don't ever come in here. You know what I mean? I was like, damn. scurried my ass back out of that cell. Boom. I went back for those, them things in a little bit, but I never did that shit again. You know what I mean? But my point was just letting them know, like, you guys could get whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no sense in going crazy like this or whatever. But they're gonna do whatever they want to do, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I heard a lot of shit about Mule Creek, man. There was always dope, a lot of dope over there, man. They had a lot of I know they sent a lot of the heavyweight deals over there. Lucky was over there, Lucky Shelton.
How about Tiny?
Who?
Tiny?
Contreras?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was over there.
Yeah, I had escorted. Took him on a transport, and we talked for a little bit and stuff.
Yeah, he passed away. Huh?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he passed away.
Hmm.
But yeah,
they had like in I forgot what building it was, but it was on B Yard. They had like the Black Hand Cats that were up on the top tier. They'd come out. That shit was a trip. You know what I mean? The way that they would program, and they'd have their shirts off, and I was like, damn, Angels of Death or something. I don't know what they called them or something.
Oh, I think you're talking about it's a gang out there, and I think it's San Diego, Black Angels or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
You ever dealt with them personally, the Mexican Mafia?
No, bro. Nope.
No. What about any NF? No, Aryan Brotherhood.
well, I mean, like as far as what?
Like just worked on a tier where you had that was your tier, and they were housed on that tier. You had some type of interaction with them, or
yeah, like I said, I didn't pay attention. I mean, like and people would try to bring me. I'm like, man, I'm good. Like, how they're trying to meet introduce me. I'm like, okay, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like, I keep it moving, but I wish I would have paid more attention. You know what I mean? It just wasn't my style. You know what I'm saying? But and because, like I said, I did have these 5 black dudes, man, that they were with me, and it's a trip because how did I do that or whatever? But we would just play spades or wherever they were at. I'd call them out, and they'd be with me. We'd be playing basketball, like I said. We kicked it, bro. And then of course, nothing crossed the line or whatever. We just play spades or dominoes or fucking whatever. But I did that my whole time, bro. They all did over 30 years, and they're out now. You know what I mean? We kick it and stuff.
Yeah, all of them are out.
All of them are out.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I would kick it with them. But as far as I knew some BGF dudes. That was there was Marlboro, and one of my homies got into it with them with Marlboro Soul, they called him, and he was like, "Bro, let me go in this cell, man, and throw some water on his TV." I said, "Get the fuck out of here, bro! Like, you got me fucked up right now. I ain't never gonna do no shady shit. Like, I don't care what he did to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't part of that shit. But yeah, I mean, there was ABs there. There was no NF, bro. Like, nah. Like, I just didn't. I didn't. Somebody told me who had the keys and all that stuff, but like I said, it just wasn't my thing. And then like Mumbles and Mingo.
Mumbles.
Mumbles was a lifer
from San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
I know him. Yeah, he's an ex-NF member. Right. Yeah.
And so, but then they started getting taken off the line, and I'm like, man, and I didn't know the politics of it or why, what, when, whatever. So I just, it wasn't my business. I didn't try to figure it out.
Hey, so let me ask you this. So are you familiar at all with like the debriefing process, how it worked in CDC, and how at one point in time, a lot of the guys that were validated were held in the SHU program. And when they got validated, they had to go to the debriefing process in order to go out to the yard, back to the main lines, right? Are you familiar at all with that? Like, can you confirm or how a process works or not, or you didn't know anything about it? No.
And that's unfortunate. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like in I was just me, bro. Like, and that was, and when I left Mule Creek, even this veterano CO, he was like, bro, I remember when you first came in here, man. You're the same dude that you've always been, and much respect, because they were getting at me, trying to mold me into something that I would never be. You know what I mean? But
Right.
so it was just, and it's, I wasn't on the blue team and I wasn't on the green team. You know what I mean? I was just me doing my job to the best that I can. You know what I'm saying? And that was enough as it was, watching my own back. You know what I mean? But because the COs, bro, they were just, and, I mean, and we were just different, bro. Like I'm not gonna call them racist or whatever, but they didn't know anybody like me. They didn't know, and I wasn't the most caring motherfucker. Like, if you got a problem with me, then we got a problem. Like, I'm not gonna kiss your ass and make it right.
Right.
So it just that, we could never get along, and it's unfortunate because I was a good CO. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna put in my business. You know what I mean? Whatever I need to do, without crossing the line. You know what I mean? Like, I would never do that. But yeah, bro, I just did my own program, but yeah, I'm trying to think of, yeah, it was always one-on-one. There was this other cat. My first 3 days, they called me the shit at Mule Creek, right? Because my first 3 incidences, them dudes shit their pants. So
They called you the shit.
the shit, because I had motherfuckers shitting on themselves. And like you said, bro, I ain't tough, bro. The last thing I want, I said, I fought enough on the streets. Like, do I want to come to work, you know what I'm saying, and fight? Hell no. But, we're men, you know what I mean?
Hey, it's hey man, prison is a hostile environment, man. It's full of animosity, it's full of cats that got cats that there's a lot of there's just a lot of cats that are hostile, you know what I'm saying? And it's to be expected, man. I'm from the old school though, man. I understood how it worked, man. As far as like the COs, we rarely got into it with them.
right.
It really took somebody to have a personal issue and to make it personal in order for us to take off on the COs. You know what I mean? Otherwise, getting mad when the COs would come in and do a cell search, tear our shit up. It's prison. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But I always understood, hey, it's their house, man. So, like, as far as our people, we always kept our youngsters in check, because I understood that if they were disrespectful, a lot of the times the COs looked at it as like, hey, that's the Northerners, period. That's the whole car. You know what I'm saying? That's how they roll. Because, the way that they function, you guys pretty much understood that if these youngsters were disrespectful, and they were allowed to do that, they were being allowed to do that. You know what I'm saying? So you guys ain't just going to come in there and tear his shit up. You're going to come in and tear all our shits up. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
We always understood that, man. There was only a few incidents where it seemed like some COs just, maybe these were the cats in school that got their lunch money took, and now that they were in a position of authority, and they could be aggressive or push up on cats that are locked up, you know what I'm saying, and have a whole bunch of backup. That's what they were doing, and that's the reason why they were doing it. They wouldn't do it on the street, you know what I'm saying, but because they're in that environment, that's why a lot of them do it,
That's what would piss me off the most. You know what I mean? I'm like, you can't even fight, and you run in your mouth like that. Like,
yeah,
by yourself, you in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I was saying, like, we were running some class in AdSeg, and we put them in the individual cages right there on the floor, and they're doing some class or whatever. So class is over now, and I'm letting them out, taking them back to their cell, and this dude punches the cage, and it scares the shit out of me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you gonna pay for that, man? Like,
he just walked by and hit the cage.
no, he's in the cage. He's in the cage, and he just said, boom.
Oh, okay.
I said, okay. So then, and this dude was a troublemaker too. He's a big dude too, man. And so I'm like, all right. And the officers are trying to, I said, no, leave him for the end. I got him. And then, I tell everybody to go, and it's just me and him, right? I put the cuffs on, and, I just did the, one click,
Yeah.
and he's like, he just boom, came right out of him, one anyway, and the other one was on his wrist. He's like, you ain't gonna open this cage. I was like, God, I'm fucked up. It's the padlock. So I open the padlock and he spins around, and as God is my witness, bro, the last thing I remember was seeing his big old fucking fist like an inch from my face. Like I remember his fat ass fist right there. And I caught him though before it landed. Boom, I hit him so hard, bro. And he shit himself. Like, the fucking the nurse was like, damn, you beat the shit out of him. I was like, nah, don't say that. They're like, no, literally. Like they said it was like a car crash or whatever. But I put hands on him, boom, boom, boom. And man, but like everybody wanted to get me in, but I was like, I had to explain myself to the inmates, right? I was like, he has to back out. I fucking broke his nose. You can't spin around. Like that just shows you I didn't hit him in the back of his head or something. I broke his face. So that means he turned to rush me. So I didn't like just take off on him and, dope fiend him, whatever. So they gave me a pass on that. They weren't going to stab me or whatever. But yeah, bro. And on the yard, man, I was shooting if it was necessary. And it was always necessary, man. Like freaking, the direct impact round.
Yeah.
I remember I shot this fool, and they would want to holler at me, right? So I go over there, I go, what's up? He's like, man, look at this shit. And he pulls off his shirt, and I hit him dead center in his back, right? And I'm like, bro, I wish I had a camera. That's the beautifulest picture I ever seen in my life. He was like, what? I said, it's like blood red, then purple, then blue, then green, then orange. His bruise was like a fucking painting. I said, bro, I need to take a picture of that and sell that motherfucker. That's artwork right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they knew that. I'm gonna do my job. You know what I mean? If you're fighting out there, I'm gonna shoot you. You know what I mean? But they respected me too, like without a doubt, bro. Like they knew I wouldn't do anything, underhanded or whatever. Never. You know what I mean? And like, I did that, but there was this BGF dude. Shout out to Hassan. That was in the hole for like years, bro. And, and I became a Muslim. That's a whole different story, but I was a Muslim for like 5 years and whatever. But my program was to walk the tier and just look in and see what's going on or whatever. And he would always say, like, get the fuck away from my cell. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is my program, homie. Like, I'm going to do this every day. So, but by the time it was over, I was hugging that fool. I got him out the hole. He started all kinds of lifer workshops and shit on the yard. He was the worst inmate at Mule Creek. And together we turned in, he was happy, you know what I'm saying? And got out the hole and stuff like that. So, I'm not afraid to fight, but also like, I'll try and help you too, if I can.
Yeah.
I remember one time I'm walking to work, walking to the hole, and these dudes say, hey, this dude wants to talk to you. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? And I guess he was a shot caller, whatever. And he was just saying that he wanted to commit suicide and he doesn't know how to keep going. And, he watches my program and, and I was like, wow, bro, like, all right. You know what I mean? And I shared my father just passed away, like, a couple of days before that. And I shared that with them. And I said, we just got to keep moving. My dad just passed away, but, that's his story. You know what I'm saying? Not my story. My story is to keep being the best dude I could be. You know what I mean? And, him and I just talked. We sat on the table on the yard, him and I just chopping it up, man. So that's another big thing, bro. Like, I ain't even told you, why I left.
Why did you leave?
That's a long story, you know what I mean? Like,
you want to say that for the next one?
Yeah, but my thing, what I want to say is like, I had to start over, homie, from nothing. I went from $120,000 a year to zero, you know what I mean? But I didn't give up, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm back, I'm a manager for public health, making the same amount of money as I was, But my point, like we gotta pump each other up, man. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
regardless of who you are, you're a man, you want to do better, man. That's kind of what I wanted to show too. Like my story ain't typical CO story, you know what I'm saying? It isn't, but so what? Live your
right.
life. You're being a good dude. I got 5 kids, I'm a good ass father, of course, I'm trying to stay positive. I surround myself with cool people I love and be the best person you can be, man. And that's what it's all about, bro.
Absolutely.
And your channel, like I don't even, I just started watching that. You know what I mean? Your channel and stuff, and Renegade too, man. I like that cat too, man. Renegade Media.
Yeah, yeah. He comes across as a real authentic cat, man. I've never talked to him, but I've shouted him out. I support him what he
Yeah,
does.
and you as well, homie. Like I mean, your story's incredible, bro. And for you, and when you told your story about missing your daughter's when
Birth.
she was being born,
Yeah,
that really touched me, man, because it's the truth, bro. Like our children are everything, when they are
yeah,
our future. And, people say that, and it's cliche or whatever, but it's the truth, man. And we all love our children, but you got to put in work. You know what I'm saying? Like my son, like I said, I wrote that letter to him, right? And I was just saying, like, I hope I hope you do this, go to college, be a good boy, be blah blah blah, right? And that happened. And so, and now he's working at Solano. You know what I mean? He's
yeah,
a CEO following in his pa's footsteps. And my son-in-law, I got him in there. You know what I mean? He's working over there. My best homie, he's working over there. You know what I mean? Making tons of money, man.
yeah.
But it's funny, he's running the same exact. They asking him what team's he on. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. They hitting him with the same stuff they hit me. But
Yeah,
yeah, I really, the way that you guys present yourselves, like it wouldn't have mattered what you did in your life, homie. You'd have been a CEO of something instead of what you did there. You people listen to you, man, and you got a great way of thinking, and whatever you would have put your mind to, you would have been successful at it, man.
I
So
appreciate you, man. I got an immense amount of respect for you as well, man, and I appreciate you coming on, JT. I want you to come back though. I want to hear what led to you leaving, or however it happened,
yeah.
So we'll
And
come back on,
if,
man.
if anybody was there from '94, you know what I mean, let's shout out, man, because
Oh, I'm sure there will be.
they know me. I know they know me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure
I'm
you'll see.
talking about just stayed in my lane. I'm not saying I was anything or whatever, but they'll tell you I stayed in my lane on me for sure. I mean,
You'll
if you
see the
want,
comments.
yeah,
They'll be in the comments. You know what I mean?
right,
Definitely. A lot of the inmates watch the channel, man.
yeah,
It's crazy. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, they'll tap in. I want to see what they got to say, man. But yeah, you got a good story. I know that there's a lot more that we can talk about, man. So we'll definitely come back, man.
for sure, bro.
For sure.
Thank you, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yes,
you
sir.
fighting and just a different perspective. You know what I mean? Like, and unfortunately, I wasn't like the super cop and all that where I could give you that side of it. And I wish I could, but
Hey,
I was just, what I'm saying? That's my story.
that I respect that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand what you're saying. You just went, did your job, and that stuff, you didn't want to get involved in it. So you just went and did what you had to do and got up out of there, man. So it's understandable, it's respectable. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But yeah, we'll come back whenever you're available, whenever it's convenient for you. It'd be an honor to have you come back on, man.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, man. It was great talking with you.
You too as well, man. Hey, we're gonna close this up, you guys. But he'll be back. If you guys remember him, man, drop a comment. Um, drop a comment, and if you had any kind of experiences with him or whatever, let it be known. All right, you guys, we're gonna close this one up. We out, man.